Electro Titans is one of the most consistent strategies in Town Hall 17, so I wanted to show you how it works with Fireball and in CWL. So let's dive in and see this video. Here we are on the first base and we got a double invisibility layout, and obviously with the fireball approach you already know where to drop the fireball on these type of bases. You mainly need one of those invisibility spells. Now watch out, sometimes they are a bit further away building, so right this one you don't have to drop them like drop the fireball on the invisibility spell itself. And of course you're doing CWL, so you can actually pick up your spells depending on your plan. And don't forget, one earthquake is actually enough for all the defenses except the ricochet cannon, and I believe it's the other defense as well, like obviously not the town hall, but I think there may be expose if I'm not mistaken, but I think one earthquake is enough for majority of defenses. Now let's look at how Amin, my friend, funneled these troops into the core with Queen and Siege Barracks. And what he does is usually dropping the RC quite early on so she can go get with the army and help out. Now look at this dumb king. Of course he's gonna go with the earthquake spell to activate and also take down a few buildings. He's gonna go with a rage, a freeze on the ricochet cannon. His queen is still kind of going good, and he has the giant arrow. Now you might be saying, why does he have the giant arrow sometimes and not the magic mirror? Well, some bases in Legends League, and I believe this is his exact Legends League army, is with double invisibilities just like this one, so it's very good to have that giant arrow to activate one of the invisibility spells whilst you take down one of them with the fireball. But obviously in CWL you can switch around with the queen giant arrow and you can actually take one of those magic mirrors. Of course not one, but obviously you know what I mean. The magic mirror and the healer puppet really works nice on the outside of the base with the siege barracks and the royal champion. It's just amazing how much troops you're gonna have in the core and how much troops you have on the outside of the core. So this in general looks exactly like the old super witch attacks with the droids. If you guys remember, it was back in the meta, and this one is just making it look so good, man. So let's move on to the second hit. Here we are on a second hit and we got a poison tower and an invisibility tower. Now I tried my best to put around all the different styles and basically spell towers that Amin has hidden in the current CWL, but look at this fireball, because this is what makes the fireball one of the most powerful kind of obviously equipments in the game. But I wanted to show this attack generally because it goes wrong. Warden, I'm gonna spoil it, it's gonna die, and his headhunter drop was not good timing, so he's gonna go with a freeze ball. Look at that town hall, and the warden is dead. So he's gonna attack this without a warden, which he's losing out on the rage, and you can see his equipment for those who are usually asking in the comments. Now he's gonna go in with the king, and you're gonna notice something very interesting, because the titans cannot shoot over the walls. You genuinely need the king ability either very early and then jump later, or jump early and then pop the king later. Depending on the base style you can do that, but he wanted to get that wall to those spitters open with the king ability, but even this went wrong. So look at the top side again, P.E.K.K.A.s with the queen and the royal champion going forward, and the good thing is about having to not use too many spells on the invisibilities in your early fireball is that you can use it with a little RC walk on the outside to keep her alive. Now notice the titans with the healers, they're doing just fine, but as I say that, of course he's gonna find some traps for the healers, and this is where you need to kind of power through the back end with those invisibilities, RC ability, and of course your barbarians that you have in the camp. Those super barbarians are really good for funneling, are really good for cleanup, and also tanking the defenses for the first layer. And you're gonna see how those super minions are actually also coming in action, and that's one of the reasons he dropped the siege barracks in an angle, whereas if he gets the base, those minions will actually end up going for the back end, so they won't be completely useless. So now you can see how he's beautifully dropping the cleanup around the base and absolutely saved this attack whilst the warden died, and also he lost the healer at the beginning. Let's not forget that, because obviously healers are quite important in this army. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the way he attacked this base, because we're gonna go to the next one and the one after it. There's gonna be 2 different spell towers, and we're gonna see how he plans on taking them down. Okay, here we are on a diamond style, what is kind of double poison and 2 sweepers. Now I didn't talk about sweepers much on the last bases, because obviously Amin's approach was different and the bases were looking a bit weird. But on this one, obviously these sweepers are a bit opposite direction of the town hall, which means if you go from opposite side with those healers, you might be a bit kind of missing out on a few things. But notice on this attack, he sees the flame flinger value, and also he doesn't see the siege barracks value. This is 2 things that you need to note when you're doing a CWL plan. If you see that, okay, the queen on the outside is gonna be just fine with a few, like, I don't know, like skelly spells or something, and then you can use the siege barracks, or sorry, the flame flinger on a nice area, go for it. But look at this. No invisibility spent on that fireball. This is beautiful. The way he dropped that warden is in front of that expo, so he doesn't need that, you know, invisibility, and this shows patience. If you have the patience, you don't need to invest it. If that was me, I would have done double invisibilities and then fireballed it. But no, Amin is a bit more patient, so he's gonna go with non-spell used for the fireball. Now, notice his flame flinger is still fine. He does have an archer to clear things on that side, so his queen can get separated from the main army. Watch out for the warden, it's gonna be tough. Here we go with the invisibility. Now, one thing I wanted and wished he did with the giant arrow was that I wish he would have got the sweepers, because obviously, as I said, you have the giant arrow for these type of scenarios, sweepers or the spell towers. Now he has to go through 2 sweepers with those healers, but notice what he's doing very soon. Now going into the core, raging that titans. Look how beautiful they're killing the skellies. They're going to kill the ice golems really nicely, and this is where the king ability is actually taking down the sweepers. This may have just saved this attack, because titans, if you don't have the king with them in the core, they don't have access to anything, because you use the jump early or you use the king ability early, but titans went out. So in general, titans will get stuck behind walls, which is really bad. But this is where those invisibilities come in handy, because as I said, you can have a mini RC charge for the back end whilst you still have her ability. The power of this strategy is really good, and this is one of those strategies that it doesn't use the, like, kind of, what do you call it, the electro boost as its main priority and startup. A lot of people I've seen that they say, oh, the meta is just RC walks, you know, and all that type of stuff. But honestly, this is one of those beautiful strategies that is kind of like the OG way of using the armies and the smash attacks with the fireball, like how we used to have with the witches, and even before that with another titan approach. But let's move on to the last hit. Alright, double rage to finish off this video. So what he does here is a bit different. Of course, there is certain things that you can do, because the Electro Titan strategy, if you have the time to plan, it's really enjoyable. You can either actually put it with the fireball or with the RC walk, which in this case we're gonna see the RC walk, because obviously this is something you can do, and you can do even in legends. So of course you're gonna have the fireball and not your main warden ability, but even in this attack I know the RC walk is gonna go a bit bad. Look at this RC. Oh my days, man, where is she going for that clan castle? And he lost the fox. He's losing that RC, and just in time he took her off. Now, as I said, he activated it like this rage tower, and in general what you need to do with the fireball is drop it on one of these rage towers. So there's different ways to actually approach these bases with the titans, but on this attack it's what I love traditionally, with the way you have the warden ability to go through the entire base. This is a lot of base left, guys. Even with the clan castle and town hall up, it's a lot, but Power of Titans is gonna show you how it's done. Again, he's going in with early RC even though she was low on HP, but don't worry, the healer switch and the RC ability can heal her back up, so she's gonna actually help out taking down this entire side with the Town Hall. Notice the Warden ability going into those spitters and Town Hall. Now this is where he can pop a very good King ability. I think he wanted him to go a bit further, but when he saw he's coming back, he went with that ability. And once the base is just like this and it's open, it's finished. There's nothing the base can do because Queen and Titans have access to everything. Now, of course, he got a bit lucky. Queen went in, but actually I would argue that if the Queen is on the outside, she can do a lot better, because in this case, as you saw, if there was a heavier base left, everything went on the outside, but the Queen is still inside, and this makes the Queen die sometimes. So always have your Queen on the outside, funnel her with those super barbarians. And I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed this strategy, and hopefully it will help you out in your CWL attacks. Looking at the Electro Titans shine again is one of the best things in Clash of Clans, honestly. And again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have any recommended army, leave it down below in the comments and we'll see them and kind of give it a go, I guess. And hopefully we'll see you soon in the future. Take care and peace.